Hi there, it's John Mansell, ex-Booze Hound. I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing this vlog from a new location outside the gym in Halesowen, which is fast becoming a huge part of my coping mechanisms. I think I'll probably get a lot of stuff jumbled up during this, but we'll see how we get on. Sometime this week I posted something along the lines of I just can't find the right balance in my head, but try and remember the good things along the way. And I'm guessing that a lot of you would have thought, well, there are no good things, nothing ever good ever happens in my life. I understand that. I do. I really do understand that. I 3 or 4 weeks ago, some of you know, obviously I went to my psychiatrist and I asked for some extra help, and I got it and it helped me. Last week I was quite busy. This week I got a couple of things on yesterday, but I've cancelled what I need to do today. I really can't find any balance in my head. Tuesday, oh no, what day is it today? Monday was a really crap day. Tuesday, which was yesterday, was a good day, and I'll tell you why shortly. Today, I'm struggling a bit again. But after I said that about remembering the good things, I purposely started thinking about, making sure I made a note of what those good things are. And I've got a couple of examples. One of them not that politically correct, but we'll deal with that if we have to. I've got a few examples of good things that have happened that I'm holding on to. So one of the first things is, see a little smile there, I've been going down either with one of the lads or a couple of the lads to watch the England football. Come on, England. And before every game, I've stressed about, well, am I going to be able to cope with it or whatever, and I have. I've coped with it. I could have shut myself away and watched the football at home, but I went out and I got the atmosphere, some great things, meeting up with people I haven't seen for years, and having a laugh and things like that. And one thing particular sticks in mind. I can't remember exactly which game it was, but I'd taken 3 of the guys down to the Boozer, and three of us were back in the car, and there was a discussion going on that the other guy who hadn't come out yet, between the other 2 guys, that this guy was now gay. That's the politically incorrect bit, sorry, because he didn't drink as many beers as them. These guys are the same age as me, they're 45. And when he got in the car, the last guy, he was advised he'd just been discussed and it was decided that he was gay. Again, 45-year-olds, and he obviously asked why, and his response was, because you drank 1 less beer than us. He did argue a little bit, saying, well, how does that make me gay? But the whole point of that is it's a moment that, if I listened to my demons and stayed in, I wouldn't have got. I know it's not politically correct to call people gay, and things like that, but trying to get across that these are 45-year-old men, all with decent jobs, decent couple of kids, and we're talking like we were 18, 19 still. Something that happened recently, last week, I went to a meeting of Governance International. I hadn't been to one for a while. It was their 20th co-production meeting, which is basically all about trying to bring people together and work together. There's an awful lot of people out there doing stuff, but there's quite a lot of the time I see it's just not joined up with other people. It was a great meeting, really interesting meeting, but one of the things I took from that as well is obviously a meeting Governance International. I was in a room talking with people from Germany, Ireland, didn't forget you this time, Tony, Estonia, Brazil, and a guy from South Africa who is working for an Australian organisation And it just occurred to me, I was sitting there in this room and it was, I was speaking with people all over the world, and they're all got the same ideas. They all want to work together and co-produce stuff. And that struck me as a good thing in my life. A couple of days ago, I was walking down Alzheimer. I think this was on a day when I wasn't in a very good mood, and I saw this little young boy. I can only explain him as having a look of distress, trying to keep up with his mum. He was holding his mum's hand, and he looked concerned about the pace they were making. And then just behind, I assume it was his sister, this tiny little blonde girl with a knot on top of her head. God knows how old, because really, really young, waddling along with a sippy cup under her arm, looking as chilled as you possibly could. I'd just like to think that she was thinking, thank God I'm not holding Mum's hand. That made me smile. Yesterday I went and did I suppose an assembly with a bunch of school kids, 4 sessions, about 50 in each of them, so I spoke to 200 kids yesterday. And one of the things I got them to do, after introducing myself as a mentally ill retired alcoholic / addict, I wanted them to write down or shout out unpleasant words or unpolitically correct words to describe me. And some of the responses were amazing. Lots of crazies, lots of crackheads, and in the last session I asked them to do it vocally, and one of them put their hand up and smiled at me and said I was idiotic, which again, that's great. And I spoke to them about mental illness and addiction. I spoke to them about some horrible things that happened in my life, including having my face smashed in, and hopefully it feels like one of the very worthwhile and rewarding things that I've done so far. It's left me tired today, but that's okay. We can get through that. Got the football tonight, obviously. Already stressing about that, but again, we can deal with it. I think the whole point of me trying to remember those things, and I know there was other stuff that I was trying to remember, is it is important to remember those moments where you smile. Somebody yesterday asked, one of the teachers actually asked where my happy place was, and my response to that is, and if you've seen me before, is I don't really understand the emotion happiness, so I can't tell you where my happy place is. But what I can tell you is the things that I do actually physically note down sometimes, the things that day that have made me smile. It's important to remember these things. It's important to get out and about. If I'd have left my decisions to my demons the last couple of weeks, I wouldn't have been out in Alzheimer to see that little young girl. I wouldn't have been out to go to the Governance International meeting and talk to people from all over the world. Another thing that happened last week, I went to the CCG's organised NHS 70-year-old birthday, and getting there and seeing just how many people there were there. It was absolutely rammed, and lots of different stalls. And I think one of the highlights being, I think it's a dance group called Fizzogs, and they did something called the Dancing Grannies, and it was absolutely spectacular. It made me smile, it made me laugh. I took photo after photo to try and get some good ones. You've got to. I quite often talk about picking your battles, and you've got to pick your battles. So, for example, I know that I've had to cancel this thing today. I haven't gone to this thing today because I think it's going to push me over the edge. And next week, I've completely blanked out my diary. There's only one thing that I sort of have to do. But apart for the rest of the other week, I've got so much stuff that I need to catch up on. I just want to do it in a relaxed fashion, and if I can't deal with it in a relaxed fashion, I won't do it. Next week is all about rebuilding and getting my brain, my noggin, into a better place. Now, I don't know whether I'm coming up to 10 minutes now, and I really don't know whether I've covered everything that I wanted to. Probably not, I never do. But, you know, I am having a difficult time. I've just remembered one thing. Walking down to Halesome the long way around to get some exercise today, I saw a fan that was, you know, a circulating fan that was obviously left out for the tatters. And as people do, they'd cut the plug off. And I remember chuckling to myself, thinking, well, of course it doesn't bloody work. There's no plug on it. You know, little things like that. I mean, it may not be funny, you know, to you, but it made me smile. It's something I remember from today, something that made me smile. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Please share this video if you can. Thank you to the school I went to yesterday for allowing me to be as honest and open as they did allow me to be. Thank you to the kids for listening to me and not falling asleep. But yeah, I'm struggling at the moment. In between doing, you know, when you have the rest time in the gym, you know, I was just staring into blank space. But I know I've got it under control. I'm doing the right things, and you know, I feel like I've got a little bit of a different phase in my life where my coping mechanisms that I had don't seem to be working anymore, and I don't seem to be able to control or manage my thought patterns, and a lot of the stuff that I used to do to help me manage those thought patterns just ain't working anymore. I've got list after list after list of things that I should be doing. You know, I've got lists about lists about the lists about lists. Anyway, please share this video if it means anything to you. Please, if you're struggling, get out there and see if you can find something to smile at today, even if it's just the sun, you know. And if you're struggling, you know, ask for help. Find somebody, ask for help. I had to ask for help a couple of weeks back, and I'm meant to be, you know, a strong person. We're all strong. We're all winners. You know, we fight this illness on a daily basis, and we will continue to fight it. So please subscribe, share if you're able to. I've got a PayPal account as well, and I'll catch you soon. See you soon. Bye bye.